Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about why you should treat Gen Zs and Millennials at your table far differently than you treat Gen X and Boomers. All right, so let's get into this. Okay, so first of all, if you have multi-generational table, and I've run for multi-generational tables, you should not treat Gen Zs and Millennials the same way you treat Gen Xers and Gen Boomers. And the reason why is Gen Zs and Millennials live in a cultural wasteland. They are, so basically, I think, starting to understand, I'm trying to understand our current world. It is, if you think this world is like it was even 20 years ago, you're an outrageous fool. The world has dramatically changed and will continue to dramatically change at an incredible rate. This idea that America is repeating Rome and all these hot takes on history are all completely wrong. I'm convinced that the pace of modern life is so fast and technology is changing our world so quickly that the reality is there's either no common sense or no common sense is acknowledged, which makes it functionally that there's no common sense. And so the reality is we constantly have to be striving to understand the world we live in. Excuse me, it's allergy season, apologies. So all right, so let's get there, okay? So first of all, your Gen Zs and your Boomers, they're privileged nonces, okay? Your Gen X's and your Boomers, they are privileged nonces. They have lived in an incredibly blessed paradise compared to what Gen Zs and Millennials are living in, okay? We burned their world, we spent all the money, right? And we left them with the gleanings, right? That's a biblical term, right? We went out and harvested the fields, and all that's left for them, right? Oh, all that's left for them is the gleanings, the stuff that fell off the stalks. Gen Zs and Millennials, the vast majority of them will never own a home. I own a home, right? The odds that any of my kids will ever own a home, far lower, right, than even 20 years ago, right? And Gen X and Boomers have harvested the field and salted it, right? That's what's happened, right? And so the reality is these Gen Zs and these Millennials live in a cultural wasteland, not in a literal wasteland. This is America, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. You can go get your avocado toast, and you can get your blueberry coffee, and you were able to every single day of the plague, right? The Great Pandy, right? We do not live in a literal apocalyptic wasteland, but culturally, these Gen Zs and these Millennials absolutely live in a cultural apocalyptic wasteland. Why do I believe this? Akana. You will see her video that inspired this video linked below. Akana is an incredible, she was just in Blades of the 47 Ronins. She was also in Jupiter Ascends. Jupiter Ascends, I think that's the name of the show. So she's an actress, but much more successful, I think more than successful than her actress career. She is actually a YouTuber, and I watch her YouTube content. And what is her specific YouTube content area? Slice of life. She does slice of life. And I'm familiar with that content area because my kids are huge anime fans, and slice of life is a serious area of content in it's its own genre, really is. So that's the genre she plays in, right? So and she's a YouTuber just like me, right? But I'm really amazed by her, and I'm very, I know her content really well because I think I've watched every video she's done. Okay, so let's get into it, right? So what's special about Akana? What does she teach us about Gen Zs and Millennials? First of all, I think she's a Millennial, not a Gen Z, but I do think that everything that's happening with the Gen Zs is actually going to be worse everything that's happening with the Millennials is going to be worse for the Gen Zs, right? So let's get all the way there, right? Why is Akana special? She is the strongest evidence that right now in America, Gen Zs and Millennials live in an absolute cultural apocalyptic wasteland, and they are the Mad Maxes. They are coming out of the desert with wearing rags, holding a stop sign that has been carved into a axe, right? And they're just covered with furs of creatures they've killed, right? And the reason why is culturally they've lived through an apocalyptic, like, hex storm. It's so bad, right? So let's look at Anna Akana as proof. Anna Akana would like to be someone's wife, right? That seems like a very reasonable, request, right? Like, I married my wife, okay? Anna Akana is slightly less attractive than my wife, right? I'd put my wife at a 10. I'd put Anna Akana at a 9.8, all right? So if you're a 9.8, right, on the scale, you should be able to find somebody to wife you, right? Like, she can't. She says in this video, she's literally, her video is about, like, manifesting your dreams, and her dream is literally just to be someone's wife, right? That's a low bar. Like, Anna Akana takes care of herself, and she is not repugnant looking, right? And she's a winsome person, right? And get this, no one wants to wife Anna Akana. No one, right? Or anyone who tried did not meet. She couldn't find anybody who was worthy of that role, and many people that she wanted to ask her did not ask her. What's even more shocking is Anna Akana is bi, okay? So that means every person who ever comes in front of her who's 18 and up is a potential somebody who can make her their wife. And literally no one on the planet can either wants the role or is worthy to fill the role. Anna Akana is top tier gold content human. If she can't fulfill the dream of becoming someone's wife, every Gen Z and every millennial is effed. They are just done. And guess what? You'll find another link below. Pearl Davis. And that's exactly what she's saying. She's saying the whole system is broke now, right? For 6,000 years, humans have, like, been, hey, would you like to have a child together? Like, yes, I would. Would you like to promise to be together forever, to love each other forever? Yes, I would. Okay, that's great. Let's have a child together. Here's a child. It's broke. That whole system is done. It's finished, right? Like, you and me had it. I'm incredibly blessed to be the last person in, right? Like, but it's finished. It is legit finished. If Anna Akana cannot get wifed up when she wants to be wifed up, and she can literally every human being of 18 or over is a potential person to wife her, and she can't get wifed, they're all effed. They are all effed. It is, you can call it there. Done. So, it is unfair, right? All right. Next game you got. Take your boomer, tear him in half with a red dragon. A U.S. Dungeon Master. Tear him in half as a red dragon. Have the red dragon throw half of their corpse to the right and half of their corpse to the left, right? And that resilient, privileged nonce is going to roll up another character and not shed a single tear because they've lived in a world of paradise and luxury their whole lives, right? You do that to a Gen Z and millennial, that person could be emotionally blasted for 3 months because every moment of their life has been lived in a fraught cultural wasteland where frenemies are the beasts that they have to deal with. Frenemy is a new term, right? And it's constant. It's absolutely constant for these poor Gen Zs and millennials. Do not, okay, take your boomers, tear them in half, have the red dragon throw their corpse in each direction, right? They'll roll up another character, and it won't even disrupt them enjoying their next cup of coffee, okay? You tear a Gen Z or a millennial in half, players' characters in half, and you can emotionally blast that player for 3 months. They're not the same. Don't treat them the same. All that's my humble opinion. I'm eager to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a wonderful millennial.